Our speaker this morning is Reet Tharwani. Reet is a 4-year boarding student from Dhahran, Saudi Arabia. She is co-president of the Student Government Association, Step and Dance Team co-president, and South Asian Student Association co-president. She's also the proud roommate of Lizzie Richter. Reet.
You would think after giving lunch announcements every day I wouldn't be nervous. Here we are. Over the summer, when I was in 6th grade, my family and I, along with my cousins, decided to spend a day at the water park. Now, if you knew me back then, you know how terrified I was of slides with drops. But as luck would have it, someone in the group insisted on trying the biggest, scariest slide, and somehow managed to convince everyone to join in. So there we were, me, my mom, my sister, my little brother, my aunt, and my 2 cousins, one my age and others the same age as my brother, all standing in line, filled with a mix of anticipation and dread. As we waited, I noticed a large square platform on the floor with numbers that increased every time someone stepped on it. My heart sank as I realized what it was, a scale displaying our weight for everyone to see. We needed to reach a certain number to be allowed on the ride. My 7-year-old cousin seemed less anxious than I was about the slide. Clueless and excited, he stepped onto the scale, ready to ride with his older sister, who, mind you, was the same age as me. But as they stepped on, the lifeguard declared they were too light to ride together. With the rest of my family already paired up, I was the only one left to partner with my little cousin. I hesitated, dreading the attention the numbers on the scale would bring. But with my family growing impatient in line, I reluctantly stepped onto the platform, shaking because of my nerves. As each footstep registered on the scale, the numbers climbed higher and past what it was before. "Good to go," said the lifeguard, oblivious to my embarrassment. Realization hit me heavily. I was the only one heavy enough to ride with my little cousin. Though my family probably didn't grasp what just actually happened, I felt incredibly embarrassed. I was only 12 years old. This has been something on my mind for a very long time, but especially hit me hard after middle school. When I look in the mirror, I don't recognize myself. I confront a stranger. I look at every curve, every imperfection that stands out to me. The reflection staring back at me looks like a distorted figure that is the opposite of what I'm supposed to look like. The mirror serves as an unforgiving figure of judgment, and I constantly find myself stuck. Looking at myself in the eyes creates a constant cycle of questioning and self-doubt as I take external ideals into account. When I'm in a group of people, I'm supposed to be smiling and laughing, but I can't help but feel isolated. I feel like an outsider because I look and feel different. The fear of judgment lives in a cloud that lingers over my head because I struggle against the feeling of being different, of not fitting into the mold society has sculpted for us. I have tried to fit into the voices around me that tell me what I'm supposed to look like. Back during COVID quarantine, I was locked in my house. I was not allowed to leave my community or go to public spaces. My family's favorite thing to do back then was go on walks every single day. What started as a fun family activity turned into something I pressured myself to do. Every day at 4 p.m., my dad would come home from work and we would put our sneakers on. I started a workout on my Apple Watch and walked the same path every day for weeks. Every few minutes, I would look at my watch to see how many miles I walked and how many calories I burned. I constantly pushed myself to complete an extra mile or hit a certain amount of burned calories. Every time I opened my phone to TikTok, I would see all these influencers with a complete 2-body transformation after doing a YouTube workout challenge. I thought they were perfect and beautiful, and I wanted to be perfect and beautiful. I wanted to be like them. When I'm in dance, my #1 safe place, I can't help but sometimes feel like I'm not supposed to be there. I will never forget how it was my first love, one of the only things I'm truly passionate about. I was known as the girl who knows how to dance. In the best form of self-expression, I'm still tainted with the sting of judgment. When I'm forced to pick up a costume in a bigger size, I try to hide the tag. I feel like the world is screaming, "You don't fit in." In the world of dance, known for its grace and artistry, I feel like my figure serves as an obstacle rather than a vessel for expression. When I'm in my doctor's office, a space where I usually don't care what is said, and a space supposed to be safe for guidance slowly has become a source of anxiety over the years. "I need to see you thinner next time," my doctor says. Words that cut deep, as if my weight is measured by the numbers on the scale I get scared to see. My health and well-being become entangled with the pursuit of social acceptance, blurring lines between self-care and external validation. This past summer, I had several people come up to me saying it looks like I've lost weight. While this could be offensive to some, it was the best compliment I could receive. All my hard work going to the gym paid off. The only thing is, no one knew the headaches and dizziness I felt because I did not eat. I cut junk food and recorded every meal in a calorie app. I was so happy and proud of my accomplishments, but also missed eating sweets. But I try to remind myself of all the guilt it brought me. Because of all the conflicting thoughts in my head, I lost my progress when I came back to school. When I sit down in the dining hall to eat, an act of basic human necessity becomes a source of internal conflict. I constantly find myself comparing my plate to others, which becomes a ritual of self-evaluation. I can't just think about eating when I'm focused on the size of my plate. My portions become a statement that I am afraid defines me. I feel like all the eyes are on me whenever I sit down and whenever I go to take my plate up. Even in the face of dessert, a simple pleasure becomes entangled in a web of conflicting thoughts. I don't know whether I should eat it because I genuinely want it, or if I should look away because I've already put enough junk into my body. With either decision I choose, there's always a feeling of guilt, whether that's from I shouldn't have done it, or I should have because I was craving it. When I go back and stare at myself in the mirror, I don't see any improvement in the person I wish to become. Instead, I feel like I'm moving away from my goals. Weight fluctuation is normal. It's a part of the human cycle. Factors like sodium intake, exercise, food intake, bowel patterns, a person's menstrual cycle, medications, and illness can all contribute to daily swings in the number on the scale. Every now and then, I get a glimpse of hope whenever I walk into my room and see a handwritten note from my best friend. I do have someone who sees me for me on the inside and does love me. But why can't I love myself the same way? I'm trying to step out of my blockade of internal thoughts and feelings, but some days it's hard when they are strong. These struggles are some things that are brought up every day. It's a journey towards self-discovery, acceptance, and ultimately self-love. A journey that I'm still trying to figure out. I honestly did not know if I would have been able to stand up here today and say this out loud, but the fact that I am up here is not to declare defeat, but to prove resilience and to show that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It sometimes just takes time to get there. That moment spent at the water park is something I will always remember because it was a hit in the head. But I want to go back in time and tell myself that it's okay. It's okay you were allowed to go on that ride. It just shows how strong you are. It's okay that you enjoyed all the food you ate. And it's okay that you spent all your time in the world worrying about other things. Perfect and beautiful don't just have one definition. That dance costume looks beautiful on you. You aren't meant to fit clothes. Clothes are meant to fit you. That doctor you have doesn't know what she's talking about anyway. Your mom said she's crazy and we need to get a new one anyway. This journey is far from its conclusion, but every word spoken is a step towards unraveling the complexities, navigating through the maze of self-discovery, and ultimately achieving the desired embrace of self-love. Reflecting on my journey, I've come to understand that loving myself is an ongoing process, not just a goal to reach. It's about accepting every part of who I am, flaws and all, and defining my own standards of beauty and success. Along the way, I've realized that self-love isn't about always feeling confident. It's about being kind to myself when I'm not. forgiving my mistakes, and celebrating my progress. Surrounding myself with supportive people who see me for who I truly am has been crucial. So as I move forward, I carry with me these lessons learned from every challenge and moment of growth. I embrace the ups and downs, knowing they shape me into the resilient person I am becoming. Despite the uncertainty, I walk forward with courage, trusting that self-love will light the way. Thank you.